get on here. Get a bit closer. Come a little closer. Because it's time for Crowdfunding Countdown, the Hungry Edition, where I haven't eaten anything today, and it's getting late in the day, but you know what? I gotta do it, because this is the only time I have. If you're new, this is where we take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up this week, and I do mean every single campaign. I have 26 tabs open. We'll see how many actually make the final cut, and how many I've just clicked on because I thought they were funny. Yeah, sometimes it could be 50-50. We'll probably end up with like 13 episodes or whatever. 13 tabs. My mind is already gone. But before we begin, I want to give a shout out to the semi-sponsor of the video, IntotheAM. They're not paying me any money, but they are sending me some more shirts. And because they reached out to me and they said, here, I'll put them up on the screen. Look at that. They get some shirt stuff. They're like, hey, we've got all these different like things planned. We want to do like another integration. And sometimes in the past they've paid me money, but since I reached out to them and I was like, listen, I just need more shirts. Give me more shirts. I think now that's our currency. And honestly, I'm not that upset about it because I really do like their stuff. And I picked today to do the integration with them because they said that their best sellers today from June 12th to the 15th are going to be like 80% off or something like that. And if you use my code SlipperyJim, which I should have clicked on here, so I got, you know, the credit of somebody sending a SlipperyJim all the way over to get some deals, then you can get an additional 10% off. That's what I do appreciate about those sort of little codes, is that they always have deals, and then you can use like my code on top of it. So always get those deals and then get the additional 10% if you're interested. I'm wearing one of their shirts right now. And also in the B-roll, ooh, look, maybe the shirts that they sent me will have arrived and you can see me modeling it all fashionably. Oh yes, work the camera, honey. If not, then it's just me sitting here narrating my potential self later on. In which case, maybe I'll just leave that in. But yeah, really, I talk about them a lot. I'm fine talking about them for free shirts because literally my whole wardrobe is becoming IntotheAM, and I may not need any more shirts because I have so many. But I like them, and I need new shirts to be on video, right? Or else I'll look like I'm just filming everything the same day, and that won't be good. You need to know that I spend every waking moment on this. And because I spend every waking moment on this, I do want to give out a huge shout out to the people who enabled me to do that. A huge shout out to my newest patrons, Madrigal, Mark, and Killa J. Thank you so much for jumping on board and supporting the Room and Board Patreon. Thanks to Renato and Gareth for, you know, upping or extending the pledge to that sort of yearly rate. It's a bit easier that way, honestly, if you do the yearly thing. But do what you want. I don't care. What I do care is that I say this a lot, but it's true. I am consistently blown away by the generosity and support of the board gaming community. You're all amazing. More specifically, the Room and Board community. You're the best of the bunch, okay? And it's only because you paid me to say that I'm saying it. No, I just really appreciate everybody who like supports the channel and who I feel like I have a real relationship with, and who I feel actually genuinely like knows who I am and the work that I end up putting into this. And sometimes like I mean it sincerely, because I do internalize every single comment that's on the internet, which is the number one thing you should do when existing on the internet. Really read the comments. That's what they tell you to do. But it's really just nice that I know I have a supportive community who knows who I am, what I stand for, and just likes making funny jokes with me. I just really appreciate you all a ton. So that's your bucket of sap for the day that I just want to pour all over you. Just let me pour it all over you, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Stop running away from me when I'm trying to get my sap on you. Officer, I swear, it's for a YouTube video. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into the week, because we do have a very long week, and we'll see which ones make the cut or which ones I cut, because they're bad, and I won't make you sit through them. But one of those things that I'm certainly not cutting is going to be Rogue Dungeon. Rogue Dungeon is a solo roguelike dungeon crawl. It's offering a game that's more than just a deck of cards. I guarantee you the components list is probably just a deck of cards. But it's a bit more, so let's check it out. Somebody in the comments from last week said, hey, why wasn't Rogue Dungeon in there? And honestly, it's because I missed it, because it said Dungeon, and I thought it was just an RPG, but it's not. So we're going to take a look. I already like this this art and animation. What does it remind me of? Somebody will fill in the gaps, I'm sure. But let's take a look at it and see how it plays. All right. I'm intrigued. I saw some dice in there, so I think it lives up to its title. That's a game that's more than just a deck of cards. And this is solo. Did I say it was solo? Yeah. I think this is cool that it's solo. I like solo games. I like highlighting solo games because I know a lot of you are solo players. I also like that it says it's more than just a stinking deck of cards. Yeah, okay. I see you, Rogue Dungeon. I also like that the way to defeat Medusa here is when Medusa gets a look at your face in the mirror's reflection. Then she's vanquished immediately. Yeah, it's not her own face. She doesn't turn herself to stone. No, she sees your face in the mirror's reflection and she's like, oh my god, that's the real deal. That's who's hiding around the corner. I'm out of here. That feels it feels a little pointed to me, Medusa, but you know, has happened to me before, so it's a very realistic game. Oh, it's also on Steam as well. That's cool. That's why the art looks like it does. Do they have any? No, they're shipping here. 9.25 to the east, 11 to the west. That's cool that it's specified 16 to Canada. There's no rule book though. Like, what are you doing here? Why? Why? I mean, this outline, honestly, the campaign doesn't have too much bloat, to be fair. It's literally like, hey, you're going to get all these cards, you're going to do these things. This outline feels pretty good. To its credit, and that it's basically all around just like, hey, here's how you play the game. There's a bunch of cards. You're gonna get play mat with it. Have fun. I'm a bit confused. So these are the mini maps. So these are different maps that you can go in, and then you can pick a red room. And I'm assuming you're drawing encounters for those rooms, right? So the traders, they seem like they're probably yellow. The monsters are probably red. You roll a dice to see if you win. Kind of seems cute, but how much is it? $10 for a digital version, so you could just back it on Steam or just go get it on Steam. $40 for the main game. So that's like $49 if you live in the East, $49.25. So $50 US, $56 US, so like 70-ish to get to Canada for more than just a stinking deck of cards, I will go on record to say. But will it represent that sort of dynamic experience? I don't know. I kind of really like the art style, but the fact that it is a computer game already, a digital version, and you can get that for cheaper. I don't know, there's something really charming about this art style that I enjoy. And maybe that would be enough to pull the trigger. Seems very, very basic though, just kind of revealing. I don't know how much longevity this will actually have. Even with the variants of the maps, I get it, you're going to be going through different encounters, but the actual gameplay loop, I don't know when that's going to necessarily get stale, and I can't investigate it that much further because there's no rulebook here. So kind of neat, but it's a pass for me. If that interests you though, it finishes Tuesday, June 13th. That's tomorrow at 11:12 p.m. Atlantic time. Remember, it's in Atlantic until I get back from Halifax. Moving along to our next one. One's already been cut, if you're keeping track. We've got Ice Limited, This Way to the Future, which I think is a sequel to Ice Ice Baby, This Way to Party Town. I think that was the first one in this series. Explore ice, lead your archaeologists to uncover artifacts on this tile mining adventure where you excavate a magnetic 5-layer board for real. You really get to do it. A campaign featuring a very limited supply, just under 300 copies. How many copies have been sold? Let's check that out before we even worry about it. There's no more copies of the core box. Okay. You can just pay a little bit more for their upcoming game, Founders. I think they reached out to me to cover Founders at some point, and I looked at it and I was like, I'm busy. Not because it was bad, it's just because I was legitimately busy. You can get the French copy. So they had 11 copies of this game. Oh, okay, and they had 45 copies of the main game. But you can't get this anymore. Well, good for you, Ice. You sold out. You did what you needed to do. You sold your 54, 56 copies, English copies that were out there, and you still have a couple core French ones, but it doesn't tell you how many there is. Why would anybody bother looking at this campaign? I don't know. I guess you should have looked before. This shows you why Crowdfunding Countdown is a hack. Or it's just like, yeah, I don't need to really look into it. So let's move along to the Carson City Big Box, which I think they still will have copies of. And let's check this out. I thought I covered Carson City Big Box, which is a complete collection of everything that Carson City has ever offered. All expansions and an all-new solo mode are included. That's kind of cool. I thought I had covered this before, but it was probably some other generic mining town that was having a big box that I can't remember, but clearly, if you can't remember it, probably not that memorable. Carson City is currently sitting at, yeah, $5.98. That's pretty cool. I remember hearing good things about this. So let's check it out and see if there's finally a rulebook. I mean, there probably is because Carson City has been out for a while. So not really a feather in their cap. But you know, it probably isn't on the page. 50-50 it's on the page. Let's see. All right, so I just looked up the previous prices for Carson City. You can see it's sold out here on Board Game Bliss. It was 60 Canadian for the regular, and then double that, 120 Canadian for the big box, although on 401 it was like 110, so that's why I always comparison shop. This one, the main draw here, they had one, I looked it up, they had it back in 2019. They had a big box over on Kickstarter, and so they're reprinting that, but they're adding in this solo opponent, Standish, who I've always found is quite aloof, you know? He's kind of awkward to play against because he's so pompous. He pushes you away, right? I'm sure there's another word for that. It's standoffish, not standish, just in case you did. Okay, let's keep moving on before everybody leaves. Ooh, insert. Black magic insert. Good. Give Game Tray some competition because the inserts that I've seen from them, I haven't been impressed with. I mean, they've been fine, but like, they're just sticking lids on plastic trays. The structure of how things come out, I have yet to see a Game Trays that's been doing that really well and caring actually about the game flow. I'm sure there are. I'm referencing Townsfolk Tussle. I'm referencing Distilled a bit. They have Game Trays. I think it's nice. And definitely, I love when they're in a place. But yeah, get some competition. Good job, Black Magic Insert. Same people worked on Carnegie. This is by the designer of Carnegie, Black Angel, and Troyes. This is cool. This is legitimate. Why back now? It's an opportunity to secure a copy of Carson City Big Box. After being out of print for quite a few years and the success of Carnegie, Javier Georges and Quinted Games decided to bring back this critically acclaimed game, giving you what everybody wanted, a nice wood pack. That included, also huge to make that right out there. That's great for anybody in Europe, but it's not good for me. I could have paid $1 less. Dang it. We have public health care here in Canada. I don't care about subsidizing somebody else's stuff. But I get that they wouldn't have passed on those savings to you anyway. They would have just kept them. It's not like a company's going to be like, hey, oh yeah, you know what? We would have passed on some savings if we could have. No, the company's generally going to be, unless apparently Tabriz, which I found out when talking to Randy Flynn, Tabriz, they're like, okay, we're giving everybody more and we're going to charge you less, which is incroyable. But if a company's like, yeah, you know what? We're charging that, they were never going to, you were going to pay the same price anyway. You were. Because they're like, yeah, this is the price. And what is that price going to be? Well, since it was 120 Canadian, prices have probably gone up. I'm going to guess it's going to run me 140. Let's see. Here's the upgrade for existing owners. Cool. Cardboard pack edition, 110. Wooden pack edition, 140. God, I'm good. I love that you can save money here though. 110 is pretty good compared to what it has been, especially since prices have increased. And this is how it was being sold for basically last time. I mean, you still have to pay for shipping, right? But great. Good job. Okay. How to play. Where's the rule book? Uvula Bob. Okay, now I got to see their channel with a name like that. Uvula Bob. You've really got, you've locked down that niche name. You need to start posting videos again, I'll tell you. You can also download the English rulebook on this page. Yes, baby. Download it here. I mean, okay, I can't click on that, but I'll click on this. Oh, are you kidding me? Carson City. Why do you do this to me? You get a kind of a pass because I know I can find it on BGG, but I'm clicking everywhere here, and that's, god damn it. No, you know what? You don't get a pass. You don't get a pass because what if I wanted to learn about the solo mode, huh? What if I wanted to read the rules for the solo mode that haven't been included anywhere else because I'm a solo player and that's what I want to do? This is sort of an unacceptable thing. But you earn a pass because I was right with prices and I'm feeling really, high on my own supply. Okay, go. Short rulebook, great. Honestly, this just makes me want to play Bantam West. That one looked good as like a sandbox Western theme. Also pretty good to stand out in the file folder of the over 1,200 rulebooks that Crowdfunding Countdown has currently read. And yes, I mean Crowdfunding Countdown. He's a different persona. That's cool though. So basically there's these 7 personality cards and you're going to take turns by choosing one each. And then you're going to take turns placing cowboys on the table or in the town. You're basically going to have a set number of cowboys. You have 51, 10 cowboys per color. You can put a bunch of cowboys out and move them around, and then you can pass and execute kind of your action. Personality that you have also gives you an action and gives you a number of money that you cannot go beyond. It's your cash limit, which is kind of neat too. And if you're fighting over in a spot, you just roll a dice to see who wins. Seems pretty quick, simple, kind of area control, getting the most parcels and putting the most like little houses on things to claim things, which will also generate you money as you go throughout the game. Yeah, seems fun enough. Is it worth $110 though? That's the question. What's the shipping plus shipping? Oh, cool. I love this. I love this breakdown of shipping though. That's great in terms of how much it'll cost you. Where's Canada? US. Oh, Canada's the first one too. Wow, look at that. So US, Canada, and a bunch of places in Europe. In group 1, €12. That's not bad. So 160 though. But it's like $160 for something that's like a really lightweight style game. Sure, it's gonna look nice, but unless you really love Carson City, right? Like I would go and get. This just feels like a retail purchase. It feels like not every game needs a big box. Even though I appreciate the production quality, it looks fun. That battling over things and protecting your outposts and parcels, and it seems like a fun style of game, but you don't need all of these expansions, right? You just don't. Yeah, 2018 Kickstarter reprint. It was first in 2015, the big box. It falls in that. Seems fun, too expensive for me, but if you're interested in that, the finish is on the 14th. That's Wednesday at 1 p.m. Let's move along just quickly, because I know there's a lot of painters out there. Ultracrylic, I saw this. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's premium acrylic paint with maximum pigmentation. All of your other crappy paint out there with its minimum pigmentation, no. You get the maximum pigmentation here. You can visit 1001.org, 10 labs. It's a bunch of pallets of paint for one bottle. Oh, God. Oh, no, it's an 8-bottle pack. Okay, so you can get some 8-bottle packs for like $40. I'm not a painter, so I don't know, but, I like to point it out, and somebody smarter than me who does paint can tell me if it's good or not, and then I'll pin it in the comments. There you go. But I do like pointing these things out, and it seems to have raised a lot of money, so clearly a lot of people are interested in this, and so that's kind of one where I go by the amount raised, because I'm like, oh yeah, people who do this thing are clearly interested enough to spend a bunch of money on it. So maybe it's a good option for painting. I just think the speed paints, the potential of just like slapping things on feels a bit more exciting to me personally, but that, again, I can't paint. I don't paint. I know you can. Not a taint. Nope. Let's keep going. Ruse, Instincts of the Den. This is a Fox-themed Euro-style strategy game. Move over, Elizabeth Hargrave. Unique design with worker placement, territories exploration, resource, and dice management. This one I hadn't heard of at all, and I'm really excited to check out, and I hope you don't let me down. All right, I see tracks. I see, and more than just Fox tracks, I see tech tracks. I see dual layer player boards, and I see dice, and I'm still interested. I think I did see this. I saw them post a definite real question on Board Game Revolution saying like, hey, what do you think about these? What do you think about these images for the box cover? I think that's a nice image for the box cover. So there you go. 25 minutes per fox, 14 plus foxes. So you can't play this game unless you're surrounded by 14 plus foxes. You can play with 30 foxes. It's completely fine. And then this 1 to 4. Not sure what the 1 to 4 foxes means, because I know it's definitely 14 plus foxes. Oh no. Dang. Why are you so expensive? Because it's so deluxified. I was hoping for something like a real steal of a deal with this deluxification. I guess 89 US. All right. There's a lot of stuff that you're getting here. I just wanted a deal, and it seems just like, you know, an average. Boom. I do like this how to play section, even though these graphs make me feel like I understand it less than the video. Worker placement, engine building, asymmetrical player powers, objectives, resource management, tile drafting and placement, dice management, all of those things I like. Oh, I love this. Updated daily. Feel free to send comments on the rulebook. Love it. Ruse rules. Last daily update, June 6th. Fact. Coming soon. Those foxes, they're slippery. They don't let you know anything about them. Mark territories. Don't tell Artie. Had enough of that. I love this, actually. This is an awesome section of the rulebook. I think more rules need to have this, especially for like victory point heavy games. How to make victory points. And it tells you these are all the things that are going to give you victory points. And you say, okay, what are those things? And you figure it out. But this gives you your guide, and this also gives you something to tell new players. Like, this is huge to have in a rulebook, and it's very good, and more things should have it. Like, complete private and common goals. Okay, I get a sense of it, right? Progress on territory tracks. Easy. There's going to be points on the side. It's going to be all a whole mishmash of points. Hunt and collect praise. I bet there's a hunting section, right? And so knowing these different elements and then being able to dive into them, I think is so important. I think people undervalue this a lot in a rule book, and I really appreciate it that it's there. This is a really good structure so far, right? It outlines all the initial concepts, and then it says, here's what you want to do, and then here, finally, we're going to explain the phases. You need to know fully the lay of the land. It's like entering into a new world, right? Every rule book is that. You're going into a new world. And so knowing that, setting the stage for it, setting, oh, you might be unfamiliar with this, might be unfamiliar with this, here's all the stuff you need to know, and now you can process the information of how you play in that sandbox. Good job. Good job, Ruse. And that's the trues. It ain't no rubes. I hope you do something else with this dice, though, because see, a lower value gets you more growth points, so I'm assuming it'll be worse down the line. Oh, cool, yeah. At different times during the game, you'll have to choose between keeping the value of your action dice and earning victory points at the end of the round, or spending the value to perform actions. And so you can perform as many actions as your dice value allows. That's why you get more points. I like this in games. I like this balance of dice mitigation, right? And how you use those dice. I think that's really cool. This, I think, could use a bit more fleshing out in terms of pictures. Well, there's a lot of just iconography all around. Like, the last 10 pages of this rulebook are basically like examples in iconography, which, you know, is good. Yeah, I think you need more examples of like how the flow of that structure works, but I think I get the gist of it. So basically, on your turn, you can do 2 things. It says 3 things, but it's kind of 2 things. 6 is the mountain. Where's the mountains? Anyway, a die is going to be rolled. It's going to determine if you're in the day or the night, and some stuff's going to happen. That doesn't matter. The bulk of it is that on your turn, you can do like one of 3 things. You can explore. You can kind of explore on your own little board. Instead, you can move around, or you can get additional kind of objectives from the mountains. That's pretty much it is. You're going to want to go up these 4 tracks. You're going to want to hunt these things. You see these tiles, these hunting tiles. You flip it over. You see if you can hunt it successfully or not. You want to build up your cubs, your kits, your little foxes to give you more actions and have them grow up to be very strong foxes. Yeah, it seems all right. Seems like a lot of fun stuff in the mix. It's very expensive, though. I guess you save a little bit with Double Instinct. Save $5 off a single pledge each. That's nice. I get why it is expensive. They're going super deluxe. You see all these wooden pieces and these screen printed stuff. Like, everything in here is going to be wood. It's going to be a heavy box. And 25 minutes playtime per person seems pretty good. It feels like it'll be the same weight as like Dwellings of Eldervale. That's kind of the same weight. It feels like a box might be the same size. I think they're working hard to give you value, but they're also just unabashedly going for this premium experience. I'm hopeful that it looks pretty good. The price point puts me off, especially what's shipping. No offense to the previews, but where are the rules? Where are the rules at? Talk about the rules. Okay, so shipping. Here we go. Yikes! $14 for China, Hong Kong because it's close. Because it's shipped from Asia. 35. Oh, I didn't scroll up. Thank goodness I didn't scroll up. I was like, what What is that? Everybody else? 25 shipping in Canada. Local pickup available in Montreal. Hello. I mean, it's a 6-hour drive, so it would be 12 hours round trip for me. What? I'm not going to be driving through it. It's not going to fulfill in the next 3 months. Oh, geez. You see how much I hate shipping. So it's 35 Canadian, right? So it's like $155 for what looks to be a good euro and a nice deluxified euro. I just don't know if it beats out everything in your collection. Maybe the theme does. Maybe the theme does that for you. 18 to the US. So you're looking at over $100 for this heavy thing. It kind of also reminds me of Paloma, you know, the windmilled one. It feels like much lighter than that, but it feels of that similar, like, I thought that was going to be good component quality. This seems like really good component quality. Hopefully it comes out. Anyway, if you're interested in that, it finishes Wednesday, June 14th at 7 p.m. Moving along to the Tabletop Golf Association Family Edition, because the Orphan Edition didn't sell very well. They're bringing the excitement back to game night. It seems like a flicking game. Let's check. I remember this. We've covered this before. This must be a shift. Maybe it's a little bit more affordable. If it is, I'm excited. Modular crokinole, mini golf in your home. Except the original edition had wood, and now this one apparently has cardboard, which is great. We listen, new shelf-friendly box size for the big box is ready. Okay. Okay, we realized that you may want to put this game on your shelf, so we decided to go the extra mile and really make sure we're not like those other games, but that way you can put it on your shelf. It's very simple. It's flicking, right? You get to lay out the tiles, you design the course. The family edition is 45 US. How much was it before? How much money has this actually cut off? 75. Yeah. Let's cut down a significant portion because it was, yeah, that feels good now. A little flicky game for around $60 Canadian, 45 US. That's great. And then shipping East, West, Central, nice. If you live in US East, $14. 14, putting it at that comfortable 59. It would be 70 US, still like $90 Canadian for me to get it, which makes it a no-go. But I think the switch to the cardboard tiles is not going to affect the play whatsoever. I think it's going to be significantly better, and you can get it to people's tables for cheaper. So great job, Tabletop Golf. This is the better version of the thing that you funded and you got more money for way back when. So again, what the hell do I know? But I really love to see that. So if you're interested in that, it finishes Thursday, June 15th at 8:56 a.m. Moving along to Asteroid Dice, the giant throw and collide squishy dice game. Throw, bounce, and collide giant foam dice in this chaotic cosmic game. These squishy dice are also great for RPGs, D&D, and giant gaming. You know, if you're playing games with Hagrid and Madame Maxine. Okay, I'm in. They're squishy dice because you're going to pick a card and you're going to say, I'm going to roll this dice, and then you roll them onto the board, I think. I mean, I still haven't looked at the rules, but in the video it says, if you pick the same card as somebody, the first person to grab the dice and throw it at the other person gets the point, or gets to use the dice, in which case, that's a very funny idea, and I'm already interested. You flip and you grab quickly. And whoever wins, whoever rolls the highest, gets to keep all the cards. That's pretty simple. And then you keep on playing until one person runs out of cards, then the person with the most cards wins. Look, I assume it's the person in green who's shouting their victory, and the person in white who's standing is ready to serve upon them because they lost so poorly. I think that's the narrative. Honestly, seems funny and fun. I don't know if I would play it all the time. What is funny, and I just clicked this because I thought it was going to be funny. There's another campaign for giant silicone dice also finishing on Thursday. Both of these will finish on Thursday. So if you just want the giant silicone dice, a 7-piece set or singles. And I was going to make a joke about how that's the sort of silicone that I want to squeeze, but now I've got to actually look into it. 20 US, 27 Canadian. You get one single giant squishy silicone dice. Retail $30. Ooh, this seems like a horrible value, and anybody who's backing this should just go get these Asteroid Dice instead. These spongy, squishy dice. I guess silicone's probably a little bit harder, right? Not meant to throw it at somebody. Maybe. Here you get 5 of them in this thing for 32 Canadian, and you get the cards. which is what I would do. This fireball expansion, oh, this is a lava theme, so they don't have color, so you have 7. So you have 7, you get a full set? No, not interested. And the fireball edition, oh, you get everything together? No. Don't do it. Just get the base. Why would anybody ever get anything more than the base in this? No idea. But it looks stupid and it looks fun. So £9 shipping to the UK, then so £12 and £16 to Canada, right? Like, I'm not gonna pay $50 for this. But it does look fun. I think if you want some dumb chaos, I would still side with hand-to-hand wombat. But I see why it's raised so much money, and it looks stupid enough that I'm interested. So check that out. Finishes Thursday, June 15th at 12 p.m. Moving along to this thing, the Deck of Player Safety. This is cool. This is kind of a neat idea. It's to provide safety at the table. That's what I thought it was going to be. It's to provide safety at the table for RPGs, or if you're at a convention, you want to do like a one-shot campaign, but you don't want certain topics to be brought up. Certain things are triggering, right? Like when we're here and we're playing and we're making believe, you want to make a safe space for everybody to like have fun. You don't want to bring up like really traumatic, triggering topics. For example, Renee did a little bachelorette party, and she had this whole like Gossip Girl text chain thing that was happening for her friend, and they were getting text alerts throughout the time, and the whole premise was that like the husband-to-be had been kidnapped, and it turns out he was kidnapped by Beyonce. But one of the people in the party had actually been kidnapped, like literally been almost kidnapped by a horrible person. And so when they started receiving those text messages, it was obviously not like a fun time for them. And they're like, you know what? I'd like to opt out of this text chain. So you never know what sort of like things people have gone through. And I think just having a way to make it anonymous, you're going to shuffle up all these cards and you can submit things in there. You don't want to talk about snakes. You'll freak out and it just won't be fun, right? You don't want to talk about torture, like any of these sort of things. I think that's a really smart idea, and it would be something that it would be easy to implement into your own tabletop role-playing games as well. There's like an X card, I think. Generally, there's sometimes at conventions there'll be a card with like an X on it, and you just like need to tap it, and then like the GM will like fade to black or something like that, which I think is really cool for like player safety. But it's something to be mindful of, especially in convention sense where you don't like know people and you just want to get to know each other and have a fun time and not bring up people's past trauma. So super cool. I don't know what it costs. $12? Yeah, $12. What's the shipping? Ships anywhere in the world. International shipping includes VAT. Doesn't have the shipping here, so maybe it includes it on it. That seems like a really cool, nice thing. So check that out. It finishes Thursday, June 15th at 12:20 p.m. Moving along to Sigil. Maybe this might get cut too. A 2-player battle in a strategy dueling game, can't be cut now, of arcane magic, right? I mean,
so it's just like Duel Monsters.
It can't be cut now. I take it back. I think this actually might look neat. Oh, that's a better photo. A little abstract game about controlling a board with little stones. That's it. Nice. They do have a full rule book, but it seems like it should be pretty simple, because I'm sure a lot of this is just detailing the spells, but that's the sort of stuff that I'm interested in. This is already a bit confusing, though. When you place a stone onto a node occupied by an opposing stone, the opposing stone gets pushed to the nearest empty node. That's fine. You can place things and push things away. Stones may be pushed through stones of their own color. Oh, but may not be pushed through opposing stones. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought that it then said, this is why I pay us to read the rulebook and to read it slowly. I thought that it said stones may be pushed by stones of their own color. And then it says, no, but you have to do it for your opposing stone. So I was confused. That's also neat. That also adds a lot of what I feel is maybe a different element to these sort of placing stones and blocking things. You want to surround your opponent's stones is basically what it is. You place a stone on your turn as a regular move. Then when you dash, you have the optional dash. You destroy 2 of your stones to place an additional one. So you could take people out to really boom, boom, and make a linchpin and sacrifice yourself to get a better board position, which is really neat. And this isn't going to be used that frequently because the winner, where's the winning section? You just need to measure the difference of stones. So if you have a 3-stone advantage, you win. That's it. It seems very simple. Oh, cool. And so in order to cast a spell, you need to sacrifice nodes, but there are also places on the board that have mana nodes. And so if you take those over, then you have to sacrifice less to cast the spell, and these spells do like big things. Is there a list of all the spells? No. You can only cast one spell a turn. I'm really intrigued by this. 3-node spell, 1-node spell. You can see the circles there. Red starting location, so it expands. Blue starting location. And you can shuffle these around as well, because you have 15 spells, and so you're going to be playing with different things each time. I take it all back. I thought this wasn't going to be good at all. I think this is vying for pick of the week. This looks really cool. What's the shipping? Okay, the Arcanist, how much is it, first of all? $39 US, a bit pricey. I would want it. I'd want it for 29, really. But again, I always want everything for $10 cheaper. As like a general rule, everything is 10 to 15 to 20, so more expensive for me. And so whenever I'm like, yeah, this is a good deal, I would get this, it's because it's like undercutting itself by that amount. It's $10 shipping to the US, so it'd be 49 to get to the US, 22 to get to Canada. So that's 61 Canadian. That's like 61 US, 80 Canadian. That's too much, right? This is something I want to pay 40 Canadian for. Actually, I really just want to pay 30 Canadian. Like, this feels like something I could homebrew. But price aside, I think it looks really neat. A lovely addition to this sort of abstract genre. It's like Dungeon Dice monsters. It's like Dungeon Stone monsters, really, with the spells that you're casting. Really neat. Would definitely try it out. Anyway, that finishes Thursday, June 15th at 12:59 a.m. Like, that's one of those things where I'm like, oh yeah, it invigorates me, right? Like, I can tell a game is exciting when I like get a little boost of energy, and that's I just got one from Sigil, so great job, Sigil. Let's move on to Into the Godsgrave, a digital hybrid board game of fate and divine resurrection. This is a Lucky Duck title, so probably going to be scanning some QR codes and hearing some narrative text. Let's see. Great video. I love that it's literally just your tutorial scenario. They're just like, hey, this is how the tutorial scenario kind of might play out. It's going to be 80 euros, 116 Canadian. So that makes sense. It's going to be a bunch of minis in here. This is going to be another sort of passive game, right? The app is going to tell you the story, and you're going to roll those sort of skill checks. Ooh, I do like a deck, though. No QR codes yet. I was wrong. Priority of delivery. It's this guy who's going to be delivering all of your games before those scum retail people. I think a really smart video, because I feel like I know the lay of the land. I know the feeling of it. I think that's important to get the ambiance, when ambiance is going to be such a huge element to basically anything Lucky Duck makes. I like the idea of adding new cards to your deck and building that up and seeing another campaign. Remembering your choices, that's fine. The app is going to randomize the board. Here's where I'm think it might get tedious. It'll be like, oh, okay, I have to find this tile and this tile, right? That might be annoying. Okay, so is there a rulebook or no? Why am I still scrolling? That's the standard, look at everything beautiful. So here's the thing, right? Like, I wonder, has the last quarter, the dark quarter, is the dark quarter fulfilled yet? It hasn't fulfilled. Going strong. Oof, that's expensive, but that people have on their wish list. Wait, what was I looking? What was I looking at? No, it's not up yet. It's not up yet. Yeah, I got to keep my eyes out for Dark Quarter. Generally, this sort of offsets the shipping, right? Like, generally, it'll be a decent value. Lucky Duck's pretty good about that. But like, where are you? Do you even have a rule book? Look, there's more stuff. I hate, this is the style of campaign that I just hate, because it just overwhelms you with, no, there's the shipping. Here we go. Must have missed it. Oof, yikes. Poland, good shipping. Germany, good shipping. EU, decent shipping. USA, 26 bucks. Canada, 34 bucks. Like, no, just no. I mean, I think that's not true. I think the additional stretch goals will be sold later on, and it'll be more than that. But it's also like, you can usually wait for some of these things and get it later and still have a really good experience. I'm gonna scroll through it again, find if there is rules. No, rule. What about Ruel? No, that's something different. I expected more of a change, because nice player dials aren't included. Always dials over tokens. That's cool. I'm just like, I just want to know how the card play is involved. Is it just your plan cards? Like, is that the only thing that your cards do? See, that seems very unexciting to me. Oh, get more cards, so more plans that you can play, which determine the amount of cards and your resources. That seems less exciting because it feels like it has less of an impact on the actual fight, right? So it seems like it's just dice. I don't know. I mean, thanks, Lucky Duck. You saved me work. I don't have to read it. And I also don't have to consider it because I don't have a full sense of the gameplay. And why would you buy a campaign if you don't know if you're going to enjoy the gameplay loop? That's just how it is. But if you're interested in that, I mean, like that video got me interested and excited, but it feels like it's going to be another one of those passive, go on a journey style games. If you're interested in that, though, check that out. The finish is Thursday, June 15th at 8 p.m. Lucky Duck does good stuff, but there's a lot of good games out there. For 150 Canadian, I could get a lot. Let's move along to the last spell. Fight shoulder to shoulder with your friends in this exciting, innovative co-op 1 to 4 player roguelike RPG with a tower defense twist. This has raised a lot of money, and I am now excited to check it out. Tabula Games. Is it on that thing? I don't know. That's probably something different. Cool. This must be based off of a video game. The art just feels so video game-like. This kind of also reminds me of Kingdom Rush as well. You get a little expansion for free. Cool. Tabula Games. What else have they done? Ryozin. Okay, Volfirian Guilds. Checked that out. And, oh, Mastithafa. Ah, of course, Mastithafa. That's what it was. Yeah, I remember both of those. Okay. Maybe it isn't based off a video game. It really... Oh, it's the tabletop adaptation of the video game, The Last Spell. There we go. Yeah, it makes sense. It looks very much like a Kingdom Rush style sort of game because of the tower defense. I'm interested, though, because it talks about leveling up. Oh, choose to play single scenarios or embark on a thrilling campaign that challenges you. So if you play the campaign, you get to level up the difficulty and get harder and harder people. If you play the single scenario, well, you don't do that. Seems like the campaign would be interesting because that's how you get, like, additional stuff. And do get to level up your characters and like level up your skills especially. But it's very simple. You've got kind of like movement points that move forward. Kind of reminds me of Fire Emblem a bit, which is really intriguing me because I really like Fire Emblem a lot, except this gives you kind of abilities and mana that you can spend on doing those abilities and getting in and dealing with the area of attack. It seems like there's going to be a lot of little hordes of monsters as well, which is always kind of fun to mow down. It's 109 euros though. Jeez, nothing is cheap anymore, is it? That's 158 Canadian, so it's going to be like 200 for me after shipping. All these expansions just add in, clearly, characters and things from the game. Mechanics overview, finally, like 3/4 down the page. You know it's just like, hey, you like the IP? Just get it. But the video was good. The video was good in terms of outlining specific stuff. This is kind of just a written breakdown of the video, but I actually quite really enjoyed the video because I feel, yes, rulebook, thank you, even though you are 4/5, maybe 5/6 down the page. Rulebook the night versus the day. I don't know what the difference is. I'm gonna get the night because this is that's what's here, the picture. What? Oh, okay, yeah, there's literally 2 rulebooks, one for the night phase and then one for the day phase. Oh, I hate this. Why wouldn't you be together? During the day phase, there are these resource types, and then what's it during the night then? It just starts talking about hit points and mana points. What? So this is probably like the building phase. I see. 3 scenarios that can be played separately or as a campaign. Oh, is this just the setup? I think this is just the setup of the scenarios. This is so odd to me that they're different books. Like, why would you not be in the same rule? It's the same. You need to play both phases to play the game. Why would you not have just one? Okay, this is cool, though. This was the part that I was excited about. But every day phase, you get the resources depending upon the town's panic level. And obviously, if they're not panicked, then they're like, yes, here, give us... You take as much as you need. And if they are panicked, then they say, no, we're not doing anything. And they slam the door in your face. Cool. So it just has like, this is probably, if you play the video game, this is probably replicating it, right? Like you're using your equipment to build up your town phase, and you kind of get 2 phases then. You get like a building up of the town, which will generate you resources, and strategically positioning your defenses and that sort of stuff. And then at the end of the day, the night comes, and then here's just the setups for other scenarios. So it was easier to read. And then finally get the night where people will be spawning, and then this goes through how to attack them, all that sort of stuff. During the third night, a boss will spawn. Cool, I like that. When all monsters have been killed, the night phase ends. Players remove their miniatures from the game board. A new day phase begins. It's the end of the third night. The scenario is complete. Cool. So each of the nights, they progress, and you have to deal with all the monsters in that time. It's not like a time runs out and you hit the day. You just got to deal with them. The sun will wait to rise until the monsters are defeated. It's like, we'll give those vampires a little bit more time. They seem like they need a little bit more time to, pillage the village. And then it's got special rules. I mean, well structured in both cases. I'm just so confused as to why we needed both. Oh yeah, I did see the shipping and I just scrolled right past it because the numbers were too high. Shipping to the US, 23 to 28. So you're looking at 140, close to 140 euro for this. Shipping to Canada, 35 to 40. Oh, because I already kind of calculated it that it was going to be like $200 for me. Looks cool. Definitely looks fun, but for $200, I just, what sort of game could you get that was comparable to this for $200? That's a good question, because a lot of tower defense with lots of minis. I mean, I would just play Zombicide, which is $100, right? I don't know if this is going to give me more than Zombicide, but I do. What is intriguing about this game is the day and the night phase. I know I made such a stink about it, but I think that's a unique aspect of it, and can kind of help it stand out. It seems like it'll be fun to move and like use your powers and deal with the area effect, and could give that Fire Emblem vibe. Just like so expensive. I can't think, but to be fair, I can't think of a game that does it cheaper that gives you this same sort of feeling. So if you're interested in that, that finishes Friday, June 16th at 11:45 a.m. Moving along to not a board game. This is a board game's neighbor. And this is a book on game design by Adam Kwapinski, the designer of Nemesis, Lords of Hellas, Frostpunk, Origins. I haven't read this first chapter, but let's click on it and see that it exists. Board Games on My Mind, Chapter 1, 22 pages. Why you need this book. Marketing pitch, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm actually interested in this. If you're picking it up because you believe that thanks to it, you'll achieve spectacular success in the field of board game design, just put it away and wait for that feeling to pass. Life is not a video game. Having read a book won't level you up nor raise your skill sets. Like it's a bunch of pages being like, listen, this isn't the recipe to success. Don't buy this. And I love that this is the first chapter that you can read. I want to share my experiences in looking at board games and the designing process. I intend to do it in an open and honest way. Thanks to the titanic work of the editor, this text should be free from inducing physical pain to the readers. This is pretty funny. I was not interested in this game, in this book whatsoever, until I read that first chapter, and now I'm legitimately interested in reading it. I barely read books anymore because I'm so busy reading rule books. Maybe this is sort of a rule book for design. $29 for the print and the PDF. You don't get it cheaper if you just, you do get it cheaper if you choose which one you're going to get. PDF or print, €15, $22 Canadian. Seems like a reasonable cost. I mean, it's actually going to cost you 22 to 25 euros, so like $30 for a book. I wait till my books are on sale and in paperback. So maybe I'll wait for that one. But honestly, read that first chapter. I think most people, if you're watching this channel, you will enjoy reading that first chapter of this book. That was not what I was expecting, and it makes me excited about this potential. So yeah, definitely check this out. Good job, Adam Kwapinski. That finishes June 16th at 2 p.m. That's Friday. Moving along to this that just lost a backer as I clicked on it. Did we see that? Can we roll the tape again? Not. Wow. 10 people have put a bunch of money into this. $344 on average to do this innovative Monopoly-based game about financial sense. No. I just want to see what the highest tier is. It's $130 is the highest tier. And on average, everybody has spent $340. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, So there are 9, and then there's one more special backer who's actually the key to your financial success, paying the majority of it. Let's move on and not even put that in the links. To the Library of Jakkarth. In this easy-to-learn magical adventure for 2 to 5 players, you roam the winding halls of the Library of Jakkarth to unlock its secrets. Kapla! I think that's key. They finish it with like, hey, if you like being mean to each other, that tells you all you need to know about this game. Something that also kind of tells you all you need to know about this game is this image right here. The Guardians of Jakkarth, who are coming to get you. Strangely, this video, I think, was taken from a party that I was at where, well, I'm not allowed to talk about what happened, but let's just say I couldn't walk straight for a week. This is a quick exploration, crawling around game. I wonder if they do have a rule book. They just have a base prototype. And it's going to be 75 Canadian, CHF, Swedish something currency. 50, around probably 50 euro, because that's about the ratio there. A little bit more, maybe like 55 euros. Let's see. Nope. Swiss franc to euros 1.03. So 50 was 51 euros. There you go. A little bit more. Oh, you couldn't see that because there's a new tab. You just have to take my word for it. I looked it up. That's what I do for you. I look things up so you don't have to. You can just hang out with me and have a lovely time. Okay, here's how you win. Show your 5 keys to open the exit and win the game. It's like the Night Cage, but better. Guaranteed this is better than the Night Cage. Because you actually do stuff, right? You move and you can roll dice and you do skill checks rather than wandering around aimlessly for no reason. If you're standing next to a full bookshelf, oh, that's the only time you can loot it. You can take stuff from the bookshelf. That's cool. That's a bit more interesting than they describe in the video. So you're going to run around just drawing cards, hoping you get your keys, and then throwing down spells so that you can punch other people in the face and hoping you don't get hugged by a guardian. That's the basics of it. Rules. Okay, let's check it out, but I think I got the basics. Where are the rules? Halfway down the page. Could be better. 31 pages of rules. No, I think I got the basics of it. I think this is one that I'm like not gonna skip, but I got the sense of it, right? Shipping to Switzerland, 9 euros, 9 Swiss krones, EU 16, and then the rest of the world 35. Like zero chance anyone from US or Canada is getting this game. But that's okay, because it's made in Switzerland. Anyway, if that seems interesting to you, check it out. Doesn't really seem that... Oh, I'm getting flashbacks. Doesn't seem that exciting to me. Just seems a little bit basic. But I think if you like that mode of throwing spells at your friends, sure. It could be an okay time. That finishes Friday, June 16th at 3:56 p.m. Moving along to I Feel Attacked. There's no video here. This is by Indie Board and Cards, which makes me take note, even though clearly it's going to be a funny card game. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm comfortable blowing that air horn before I even look into it, because I know that their marketing strategy is going to involve, at Origins, throwing this at people and hoping that they say, I feel attacked. And I love that. I absolutely love it. That makes it worthwhile existing, in my opinion. Of course, there's a not safe for work edition, so you can get the... Because it's funnier to talk about things that are naughty. Why do you think I mentioned that I'm a wicked, naughty, bad boy all the time? I guess I say wicked bad boy, but I think we'll add naughty to that strain of words. Is this me? See, I feel attacked right now. Is this targeted? I feel personally attacked by this right here, saying, yeah, if you could tell me what's in the game and how much you want for it, that'd be great. I mean, that's the guy from Office Space, very clearly. So I feel less attacked now that I zoom in. But I did want to know that. $29 for both of the copies. Honestly, in terms of as like funny card games go, that's a reasonable price for those sorts of things. People who refuse to read the rules, yeah, or people who read the rules for everything. It's a funny card game through and through. Indie Boards and Cards are making a funny card game. What's the world come to? As terms of as funny card games go, this is one of them. So you'll target your friend. You'll say, Carl, so you know who uses beard oil? Friggin' Carl over there. And then you say, yeah, you know what people who beard oil like to do? And then you add in a card, and then Carl, who is just covered in beard oil at this point, who's just taken the bottles of beer oil and has been rubbing himself constantly while you figure out what's going to be the funniest thing. And now it's just soaked to the bone and is just dripping on your carpet, your Fabergé carpet. It's true. I don't know why you invited Carl to game night, or why the tub, the literal 2 tubs of beard oil that he brought in without lids didn't scare you off from letting him in the door. Well, he's poured it all over your Fabergé rugs and your normal eggs that you had sitting on your Fabergé rugs. And then he picks a card and says, hey, I bet people with beard oil do this. Then they're the judge. Boom. You play as long as you want. It's not really my style of game. But as far as like game structure, goes a long way. And I think these cards, the fact that all the cards have this little stick figure art on them, shows a little bit more effort than most funny card games put in. So good on you, indie board and cards. That finishes, if you're interested, Friday, June 16th at 4 p.m. Moving along to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice Apocalypse. Don't miss another chance to get the legendary Assassin's Creed board game. Explore, infiltrate, and assassinate. Let's check this one out. This is the same game as the Assassin's Creed game that came out a little while ago? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that's just the expansion. It's an expansion and a reprint. There we go. Ooh, it's another campaign game. Wow. This one has stickers. Hope they're removable. Haven't we cut this out yet? You already have it, and you just want the new content of the campaign. You can get it for 129 Canadian. Yikes. Oh, I do love this sort of table of contents. You know what? I take it all back. Good on you, Assassin's Creed. You gave me a table of contents when Kickstarter never would. You deserve a huge attaboy, and I'll even let that this core box and free tower costs $269. Maybe I'll let it slide. I'll try. What's new in this Kickstarter? Why back now? I love it. You're like, listen, we don't want to go on GameFound where we can do that thing, but we want it on Kickstarter, so we're making it ourselves. And honestly, you almost will get pick of the week just because of that, of how much I appreciate it. Oh, and it highlights where you are. Well done. Well done. And shipping is one of those things. Well done. Wow, Triton Noir is a 4-person team. That's very impressive. It's a lot of work, a lot of marketing dollars for sure. Being part of pretty much a 4-person team myself, I know this. Not room and board. That's a 4-person job with a 1-person here. I say this knowing that there's going to be 4 different people this week on the channel. 114 minis, 26 levels to play. The tower does nothing. Place this highly detailed tower in the center of your level and experience the thrills of Assassin's Creed. Because generally if you climb up the tower and then that like unlocks part of the city and then you jump off and you go, woo, just like that. But if you want some thrills, well, you can spend $63 on a plastic phallus right in the middle. It's just so much plastic. I really like the concept of dice, that it exists, but they were the ones who taught me the night cage, so I don't have faith that they can make me enjoy anything ever, and I have PTSD. Here's the thing though, collector's edition, right? Versus the retail edition where you can get standees for all of your stuff. This is the thing that's more room and board approved. 6 boxes, secret high quality minis. Okay, so it's just like as you go through. There we go, 7 units in stock, 144 Canadian right now. Or 140 Canadian at 401. So you can pay an additional $120 Canadian to get this here, or if this game actually interests you, you can just go get it at retail right now and you don't need all the bajillion minis. That being said, the extra minis and the amount of stuff that you get, plus combined with the IP tax, feels reasonable between the collectors and the retailers, right? The difference there feels reasonable? Yes, okay. I was like, Earth Final Conflict is the one that I wanted to mention as a game that looked really cool for stealth. And just to compare, that was $120 US, so like 160 again, like 200. This is a bit different than that. Shipping, I like that it tells you the pounds and that, and how much it'll cost. 37 additional for the Apocalypse stuff, right? So you're looking at 170, 166. Yikes, that's expensive for just an expansion. Or here, like $300, or you could just get it for half of that if you accept that standees are fine remember, you don't need the minis, just like you don't need the Gloomhaven miniature line that's coming up with Granny Jexera and textureless slime blob. These are significantly better than that, but just like you don't need the minis for this. You just don't. You just don't. Here we go again. Good job. Spoiler alert, don't read this booklet before playing the game. Don't tell me what to do. Oh god, no! No! Oh, that is cool. I did see a little QR code so you can download all the memories, right? So you can hear audio recordings, which feels neat. You can learn how to play by reading only the rules you'll need before each game, so it's going to build out the rule set as you progress through the campaign. I think that's important for any campaign. There's a bunch of envelopes. Taking out the large red card, which will give you your character, your assassin's apprentice, and I can see you leveling up with a stealth touch to it. Apparently this is based off of the V Commandos system. Ooh, I do love this though. This is especially exciting to me that you have your cubes. I mean, they give you cubes to give you actions. It's just you have 3 actions. And cubes, I think, are important to have because they remind you who's used what, but you can use them in any order. So it says here, Alessandro spends 1, and then Bastiano uses 2. Alessandro uses the last 2. Claudio uses 3, and then Bastiano uses his last 1. I really like that a lot, of how to track the actions and that you have that flexibility, gives that sort of sense of freedom and movement. Overview of the enemy phase. You will not play with this phase during Memory 0.1, and you only play with it partially during Memory 0.2. So you'll control the enemies, enemies reinforcement, enemies move, enemies combat. This feels actually pretty accessible. And that says from Memory 0.2 on. All right, you're sucking me in. I mean, the tower's so stupid. You're not going to be able to see the map. And look at the difference of the minis and the tokens, right? Like this only reinforces to me that if you are interested in this game, go get it at retail. They've put it out at retail, and it's going to be 50% cheaper, and you can experience everything you need. You're not going to paint all these minis. You get too much of a backlog. The flow of it actually does seem neat, though. I was just going to skim this, but now I'm reading more because I'm interested in this, the longest episode of Crowdfunding Countdown ever. I know I say that every time, but I think this is going to be the one because we still have 9 more to go. Okay, we got to move it along. We got 9 more to go. Tell the people what they need. Okay, this might be a mild spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler. It's not a spoiler at all. But it says, once your first memory is completed, turn over the Assassin Apprentice cards to discover your assassins. And so, like, you don't know, and then you get revealed. That seems pretty cool. Oh, that seems exciting. That's how I play Attack on Titan. We draw 2 characters, and we hide the second one. And then if you die, you flip over your new character, and you're like, oh, I'm this character. It's a little bit of pizzazz, you know? A little bit of flair. Honestly, I think I will like this more than I'll like the Assassin's Creed video game series. I wasn't that huge on the video game series. This seems interesting to me. Less side quests. I like sneaky games, right? I think because I also don't like being forced to murder people. I like to do it of my own free will, officer. It was my choice, officer. Oh, cool. This is neat in terms of, like, combat's just dice-based. But when you roll the dice, if you roll the little X symbol, they're going to discover you, but they only discover you if they're alive to discover you, which I think is kind of neat. So I was like, oh man, I wouldn't want to use a sword or a weapon that had more dice. Like, sure, I can do more damage, but it's a larger chance of being discovered. I think that's pretty cool. All right, you're winning me over. I think for like one-off campaign, I know that this isn't in retail and it's later, but like this one still I'm going back to reminded me of a really cool stealth system. The stealth system here kind of doesn't feel that stealthy to me. At least from what I've read, right? Like, I'm not fully engaged in it, but it just feels like, you'll walk around and then you'll see if you raise the alert level and you're managing that sort of like alert level rather than disappearing into the background. I mean, they did have in the video minis, like translucent minis, but I think that was just for video purposes. This is a tough one. Yeah, right here. Xiao Jun. What are you doing, Xiao Jun? You jumping around? And then turned into, I think I think that was just for the video. That kind of made me excited that if that was an actual gameplay implication, that you'd have like a translucent one when you weren't shown, and then you have a non-translucent one when you were shown. I think that could be cool, but that doesn't exist, so it doesn't matter. Seems fairly standard, seems a little simple. This new expansion, if you love the game, you know you're already going to get it. even without reading the rule book. If you're new to the game, you shouldn't get it whatsoever. My recommendation would be if you're interested, get it at the retail, because no way is the collector's box necessary whatsoever. But if you're interested, check it out. That finishes Friday, June 16th at 5 p.m. Let's keep moving along. Oh, yeah, close that. Oh, I counted that as a tab. Only 8 to go. We're going to move on to Blueprint Studio. Draw the blueprint for the ideal house in this roll and write game. Fast, easy to print at home. And it's $4 US for the base game. Let's check it out. Yeah, I'm going to need to see a rulebook on this one, but it seems fine. It's going to be a polyomino style game, right? You're going to be playing and drawing in different shapes. I see. And when those dice are rolled for those specific contractors, then you can build the thing that those contractors offer you, and you're trying to complete these public goals is what it means. I just want to, you only need 3 dice to play. Like a little bit more information. Throw 3 dice, you get a choice, somebody else gets the other 2. That's very Lost Cities roll and write. I also forgot to mention, but it's very clear in the video, that you start by building the rooms. You're going to get 4 chances to build 4 rooms, and then you're going to outfit those rooms with stuff that's inside the house. Because of course, as an architect, that's what you do. You plan the structural integrity of the TV stand. Yeah, no rulebook, but that's pretty typical of print and plays, because they're worried that you won't purchase it. $4, nice. Decent for print and play. Don't really understand what the architect expansion is. Maybe just get more architects. Extra maps, rulebook. Oh, so it's just extra maps. These extra maps being just different placement of trees and support beams, which obviously can't go, well, they can go. Look, there's one in the middle of the doorway. That's a nice support beam. Sure, seems fun. If you like print and plays, check it out. That finishes Friday, June 16th at 6:30 p.m. Moving along to the AEG Expansion EXTRAVAGANZA. New expansions for 4 of our most popular games: Space Base, War Chest, Tiny Town, and Cubitos, plus deals on everything else. AEG had some really good deals in the last month. They had that daily dice deal, which was pretty cool. They rolled a dice and then they gave that deal away. We were talking about it a lot in our Discord. So let's check it out. Obviously, I am the most interested in... Oh, Renee took Tiny Towns. Renee's hanging out with her parents right now. But I'm most interested in Tiny Towns to see what that'll do. Probably you don't need any of these, but honestly, AEG also has really good prices. So if you like the game, I don't blame you. Let's check them out. That's some crazy deals, let me tell you. I was like, oh, okay, what's the savings going to be here? $300, $250, $199, $50 for each game for their... I mean, it's $50 US, got to remember that. But I'm cross-referencing prices, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, Tiny Towns, me for 45. It's a good price. 38 Canadian. No, you save money. Save money, plus you don't pay the tax. So shipping in, you can get it to your door. You can be lazy, even at place which has the best prices. That's not horrible. It's pretty good, actually. Actually, quite good. Yeah, Cubitos at 56 Canadian plus tax. That's 63, 52. Yeah, you're saving $10, which will be the shipping, though, right? So they're slashing their prices, but they're slashing it down to reasonable retail rates that you should always just wait for anyway, because then you can get them at the cheapest. But it feels like it's the cheapest that you can get. Yeah, I've played Space Base and I've played Tiny Towns. I haven't played War Chest and I haven't played Cubitos. Heard they're both good though. Space Base is very simple, Machi Koro style. If you're unfamiliar, you're rolling 2 dice and you get to choose. You get to combine those dice, or you get to use both of them and get stuff. Your opponents can use less of them. This seems cool. War Chest, drafting units and then pulling them out of a bag. That seems kind of fun. Tiny Towns, very simple. On your turn, you call out a resource color and you put it somewhere. I should tell Renee that they have Tiny Town expansions. She'll lose her mind. And then Cubitos is a race of rolling your unique dice. And this just gives a bunch more content for the games that you already love, right? If you don't know these games, then you shouldn't. I'm interested. Let's see this Tiny Towns one. So they give you a whole bunch of different cards to give you that variability. That feels nice. And then they replace the cottage, it said. And stickers to upgrade all your little towns? That does seem fun. I don't mind the colors on them, though. And a dry erase scoreboard and marker, that's really nice, too. That feels like a really nice expansion, yeah. I'd be interested in that. What's the shipping like though? That's the real quandary here. Because I can just wait. There's nothing exclusive, right? 121 dice. Yeah, that's why Cubitos is more expensive. Subsidized shipping, a la carte, all 4 new, or the all-in bundle. $8 shipping to US. That's about what we thought, right? $10 to Canada. That's about the savings that you're getting here. So it kind of evens out. You get it right to your door. This feels very reasonable. Really good, really good. A good deal for a lot of good games, well rated. If you've been eyeing them, this feels like a pretty decent time to get them. Nice, good job, AEG. Well done. That finishes Friday, June 16th at 9 p.m. Moving along to Timeout, the board game. Yeah, this is one that I pulled up as a joke. Because this teaches your kids if they're going to get timeout, if they're being a wicked, naughty, bad boy, or if they get a non-timeout, they're allowed to go about their day. And I think it's important lessons to learn. Green is clearly the timeout symbol, right? Because it says, say yes, ma'am. What you don't know is that you're saying yes, ma'am, and you're misgendering somebody. You get a timeout. Misgender someone? Timeout. Don't use their pronouns? Timeout. Bad words? Time in. Because you've expressed yourself effectively using the language that you know how. Well, I guess probably not. No, I was trying to figure out a way. I wanted a bunch of cards here. I mean, they don't have any cards. They don't have any examples. Like, they don't have any information. And, oh, of course, it's going to cost $70. Like, this is very clearly why it's just awful. $70? Jesus. This should be 20. How are you? You need to do any research whatsoever about, like, shipping and distribution. Because it's like a deck of cards in there. Anyway, they don't have cards because I wanted to go through all the cards and do a back and forth. That's all I wanted to do with this one. Okay, let's move on to Space Trap. Print and play. I know you all like me covering print and plays, so I'm gonna cover it. Print and play game. Explore the spacecraft. Collect information. Get to safety before the time runs out. See, I didn't even listen to me just then. Did you listen to me? No, I didn't listen to me. Explore the spacecraft, collect information, and get to safety before the time runs out. There's more sense in my voice. That was real teleprompter speak and not caring about communicating rules to you whatsoever speak, as I've seen quite a few how to plays. I'm going to say words that's me reading the rulebook and not conveying sense to you. Maybe I do that. I don't know. I can throw shade. I certainly can't handle it. I don't get a clear picture here, and they don't have a rule book, honestly. I would ignore. You're going to roll some dice, and you're going to collect the different symbols. You're going to use those symbols to get clues, and then you solve the most puzzles. You win. You beat other people, and you're going to do that on this little spaceship. No real information, no real reason to go for it. But it's only €3, so it's not the worst gamble you've ever made. That was the Assassin's Creed Collector's Box. Oh no, sorry, that was 6 Siege. Oh yeah, that was 6 Siege. I should have put that in the deck, in the safety deck. I'm sorry for all of those that I triggered. That finishes Sunday, June 18th at 3 a.m. Let's keep moving. It's this horrifying thing that I don't know why I clicked on it. I should have used the deck. Oh, I should have used the deck. This is a 1v1 horror story game of supernatural slasher and resilient survivor fated to face off forever. Oh, geez. I don't want to click play on this, but I have to. It's my job. Yeah, I certainly don't want to click play. I don't want to keep watching this. These poor people are going to get got by this paper mache man. Should we pause here? I don't want to do that. Oh, see, this is the reason why you do have 2 rule books, so that you have the slasher and the survivor, and it tells you the relevant information. Playmat and custom poker deck. So it says it's a competitive role-playing game. So basically, you're just saying, I run upstairs and close the door. I follow you upstairs and I knock on the door. I open the door and say, who is it? Dang it! Oh, shoot! I always fall for that. It's a law in Canada. If someone knocks you open, if it's Jehovah's Witnesses, you befriend them for 6 months to 3 years of your university career. It felt like they needed somebody to talk to. They were nice. I kept coming back, and then we just chat. I had stuff to do though. I couldn't get out of that conversation. With the pledge manager, you get a sense of foreboding. With Pledge Manager in the digital edition, you get Ethereal Fears. And with the box set, you get Pools of Blood, too. Don't worry. So really, 20 for the digital edition. All you need is a poker deck. You play cards from your hands that you've drafted, said using items and characters summoned to the day, which there's obviously a way to do that. Honestly, seems a bit too... I don't want to put myself through that. I don't want to put myself through... I don't want to put myself through any of this. Look, okay. Look, that's nice. They're playing guitar. They're enjoying the music, okay? But if you don't want to do that, well, you can check it out. That's Monday, June 19th at 7:06 p.m. Moving along to the Medusa Report. I'm assuming this is an escape room. Yeah, it is. A narrative puzzle adventure, 2 to 3 hours, 1 to 4 players. It's €45, and it's raised a ton of money, which means that their first one from Diorama was good. That's what that means. So just another... Pampero. I said Paloma. Did I say Paloma? Pampero. That's what it is. What else do you get? The Light of the Mist. Okay. They like their escape rooms. Look, they support their compatriots. The Vandermist dossier, which is also about Cold War family secrets, and that raised €47,000. This one is doing better than that. So they're on the upswing. 88. Seems like it has good reviews. Definitely check it out. Seems like an okay price point as well. I feel like a lot of these are like in the 80 range, then cost you like 100. 65, I mean, it's still expensive, but like if you're doing it with 4 people, kind of average to going out to an escape room. So I just wanted to mention it. If you like escape rooms, this is for you to check out. That finishes Tuesday, June 20th at 9:01 a.m. Moving along to Command of Nature. I forgot that this was in here. This is almost raised over $1 million, but it's not going to hit there quite yet. We're not going to get a 5 reasons for it because I'm covering it now. 10 days to go. This is from the people who brought to you Here to Slay and Casting Shadows. Here to Slay being the most recent one. And this is also a retrospective of like, hey, all of these like intense Kickstarter editions I feel I need to buy while Here to Slay is in stores, and it's giving everybody basically the same experience for like half the price. And all the people, I've had a bunch of people go back to that 5 reasons video and say, oh, you know what, you were right. I bought all the standees and the miniatures, and I'm like, why did I do this? These are pointless and I don't care. And I could have spent that $200 on Assassin's Creed. But let's check this out. This seems like the next evolution. They're kind of upping their level in terms of complexity. I've already looked at it a little bit. It looks kind of neat. Again, in that sort of fun style that Casting Shadows, that's what I meant. Casting Shadows is one I was talking about. That was their last Kickstarter with the board, the little area control. So let's check this one out. Yes, the 4 elements: leaf, twig, pebble, and droplet. You know I'm going for droplet. I hate it too. Okay, but we both know that I'm choosing droplet. I don't know, I could pick twig because that's where sap comes from. You'll play a powerful sage summoning warriors from the twig, leafed, and droplet and pebble factions, fighting to prove your prowess. As the battle continues, you'll level up, gain access to extraordinary abilities, and fierce new recruits. Protect your sage at all costs. It's just a head-to-head battle or punching each other in the face over and over. Those are friggin' cute. Yes, we get it. They're adorable, but they're also going to cost you an arm and a leg. And why would you need them? You don't need them for the game. They just look cute. I mean, that being said, I didn't need all those Pokemon figures, and my parents spent way too much money on those. So what I do appreciate here is that they're only selling the Kickstarter exclusive edition. $29 US. I feel like, what is it in Target? Let's see. Casting Shadows in Target right now. I think it said $30. Yeah, 30. 30 when purchased online. Let's see if it's a good value proposition, right? Now we have more up-to-date. Kickstarter exclusive edition was $39. Standard edition was $30, and so it's being sold for $30, but then you paid for shipping, right? All these 300 people did was pay the postal service when Target could have done that for you. So the fact that there is no value difference between standard and what's happening in stores at Target, and I know that's US Target because we don't have Target in Canada, should tell you something if you're interested in this game. And then in addition, the exclusive edition is always going to be more expensive than the base edition. So I'm really happy they're not even offering that because it's not going to be a good deal for anybody. So I assume it'll be like $20 when it gets to Target. And you get 11 exclusive characters for an extra $10 plus shipping. Like, these don't matter whatsoever. These extra tax won't matter whatsoever. You can purchase this additional expansion, and that's what people are doing. It's because this is an exclusive Expansion. Oh no, just it features exclusive Kickstarter box art. Who cares? If you like it down the line, it might be available then, right? Okay, where's the rulebook? I assume it'll be very basic deck building, but I like that. I actually really appreciate that Unstable Games has like casting shadows took, you know, area control and made it intro. And I feel like they might be taking deck building and making it intro. I think this actually might be a hit with a lot of people. And I think it's really cool what they're doing. I think it's a bit simplistic for me and my personal tastes, but I think it'll be an awesome gateway for a lot of people and shouldn't be undersold. I say this before looking at the rulebook, and I hope that I'm right. Even with this, right, you get asymmetrical factions. Pebble faction focuses on defense. So whatever you're adding in, right, Leaf focuses on deck and discard and manipulation. You get those little different flares of how to work it. That's cool. Full rulebook, yes. I said what I said. So it is going to be head-to-head. You see those were teams. That's why you're making a stack. You're going to be fighting each other. There are two different markets you can take from. You either have units or like commands. I like this too. Clear delineation between 2 and 4. It's not 2-2-4. I mean, I'm sure there's a 3-player free-for-all variant that you shouldn't ever play. Because this is, in its essence...
just like Duel Monsters.
Yeah, you got that right. This is cool. Every time you defeat an opponent, you get experience points, and you can unlock special abilities. And then you can perform that action. That's neat. So you can only summon an elemental to your hand if there's an empty space in your formation. So if somebody's been taken out, then you can summon a new elemental to your hand to like gain more protection. And those are the things that you get in the top market. Otherwise, you're going to want to build your deck filled with commands, which would be like attack, defend, etc. And so you're going to play those back and forth until one of you wins. Yeah, honestly, feels like a really great intro to deck building with that sort of take that head-to-head card game slant. Awesome art, and it'll be cheaper in stores. $29 US is not that bad though, but I just don't see, like, you get 3 extra people, a few extra cards, right? It just doesn't feel like a necessity. See, like shipping $13 to the US. So you're gonna be paying $42 for this when you can probably pay $20 in stores. It's a no-brainer. I don't think people should be getting this. I think they should wait, but I think in retail, this might be Unstable Games' best game that they've made. I think this looks better than Casting Shadows. And it's only because there isn't a room for gimmicks like new enamel figures. Like they can't go to town with all of these figures. They can just do it one time. Right, for the ultimate collector set that 3,800 people have purchased. Because there aren't more figures, that's the only reason it's not doing as well. I think this is hands down going to be better than Casting Shadows, and I'm excited. I'm excited that it exists. I'm excited that it could potentially bring new people into the hobby, so that's all great. If you're interested in that, that finishes Tuesday, June 20th, and you can slap yourself and say, hey, I'm getting it at retail, and that's completely fine. Moving along for our final game. It's a collection of 3 print-and-play games, 3 print-and-play roll-and-writes, which, judging by these lines and squiggly stuff, I think I know what they are, and I think they're going to be bad, but hey, we're going to check them out anyway and see what's happening. Yeah, I've seen this sort of style of print-and-play before, and it's not something that I'm interested in. You basically roll dice, and then you draw a line from where you were to a certain place. Doesn't feel like it's replayable. It feels like any of the other roll-and-writes are going to be better. You use the character sheet, you get abilities along the way, which you can then use to fight people, but it's just like tracing on a map, which doesn't particularly interest me as a puzzle, but it's not bad enough to warrant like cutting, right? It's just, I know it doesn't appeal to my particular taste, but hey, if it appeals to yours, that finishes June 20th at 1:59 p.m. And that's it. We've made it to the end of the week with all these friggin' tabs. This is a big one. There's a lot going on. Every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me is the thing that I'm the most interested in, and the pick for you is the thing that I think you should get as like, if you got, you wouldn't be disappointed with. Let's frame it as that. And I'm going to look through this because this is a tough week. They're all kind of the same to me. You know what I mean? They all kind of feel pretty similar. I'll tell you something. This isn't an official pick, but I'll tell you that Assassin's Creed surprised me at how interested I was in the system. It's a retail pick, right? Sigil also is a real potential. I'm going to be having a 1-minute spot on Man vs. Meeple. They're doing a crowdfunding show now where they just talk about specific things. And they said, hey, do like a 1-minute spot. I think I'm going to make Sigil my pick for Man vs. Meeple. because I think it is a unique take, a nice indie spotlight, and cool take on the abstract genre. I think that looks neat. It's not going to be my pick for me this week. Ruse is close, but the price scares me off. And Ruse is close. What's making me not pick it? I don't necessarily know if the exploration aspect is going to feel that exciting as you progress through these different colors. I think I need a little bit more fleshed out reason as to why you'd explore in these different territories and mark your scent. And maybe that's on me for not reading the rule book, but I can't say like definitively that all the choices of things that you're doing will be exciting. Oh, that's the territory. Those are the territory tracks that you're going up. That's what they are, obviously. Now that I solved that question, does it change things? I think my pick for me is legitimately this book, which is surprising the hell out of me that it is. But I was really taken by that intro, and I'm going to go back and read the chapter and see if I get any more value. This is just like base. I haven't read the full chapter yet, right? The amount of reading that I've done today, and I want to read more. But it feels like it could flow very easily. It's a very casual, interesting writing style. I'm hopeful for it. I'm hopeful that it isn't just captured like that in the foreword. So this is a temporary pick for me until I read the first chapter and decide if this is the thing that's interesting to me. But it might be the most interesting. Ruse, I think, is runner-up. And then the pick for you, which is a real pick for me, is honestly AEG's Extravaganza. Really, I was expecting this to be nothing. The Tiny Towns expansion feels like the best one out of any of the expansions. The Space Base expansion feels like the best one out of the expansions in terms of like actual content that you get. And I don't know War Chest and Cubitos, but feels like it might be that as well. You could spend $200 on Assassin's Creed, or you could spend $200 and get all of this. It depends what you're into. Depends what you wanna do. But I think this is a real consideration, or just something to have your eyes out for when it hits retail. Obviously, do your comparison shopping and factor in the shipping and see if that will work for you. But yeah, that's my pick. I'm impressed both by the price and the deals and also the content. Speaking specifically for Tiny Towns, I think that Tiny Towns looks good. The other two expansions for Tiny Towns honestly don't really interest me by looking at them. And then looking at this one, I was like, you know what? I do see the value of that one, adding in a lot more stuff. It feels like they're kind of pushing the envelope with their expansions. And yeah, so definitely interested. Maybe that's a pick for me now. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. If you're still here, hey, remember to hit the like button because it's easy to forget. And I know you will because you're still here. I just appreciate you a ton. Let me know what you're backing, what you're not. That's it. My name's Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase, but I am gonna go feed my friggin' belly. I'll see you later.